So how did I meet Justin? Okay, so this how it went, y'all. I was working at this store called American Eagle in the mall, and he came into the store to go shopping. I think he was going shopping for school supplies, school clothes for his senior year. And he tried on a few outfits. I helped him out in the dressing room, you know, gave him different clothes and everything. And then when he came to check out,
I laid eyes on this beautiful, I mean, she was fine, sexy, young girl. And I was really kind of, I guess not scared, but I really didn't want to approach. I was with my mom, my sister, so.
I gave him a discount. For some reason, he thought this discount meant that I liked him, but for real, I gave everybody a discount, so it really wasn't even that type of situation, you know what I mean?
And I ended up getting a name off her name template, and her name was MaHogany. So after, we left the store, whatever, I ended up going to Instagram and sliding in the DMs. I don't remember what I said.
After that day, he used my name tag and found me on Instagram, which I thought was a little funny, but, and then he DM'd me, and from there he was like, sending them DMs like, good morning, beautiful, and how are you? It's so nice to meet you, and everything like that.
My prom was coming up, it was my senior year, and I reached out to her, I said, hey, you wanna go to prom? She was like, no, I don't wanna go, cause I got this and I got that. So what I did, I hit up her friend.
What he goes and does is invites my best friend to prom. I'm like, I ain't wanna go with you, but like, how can you go and do that?
So she ended up, one night I was at home, she called me like, you invited my friend to prom. I said, yeah, I'm taking your friend. I said, something wrong? She was like, nah, ain't nothing wrong, I knew something was actually wrong. She was jealous of him.
A few months go by, I was just like, okay, let me just give him a chance. Well, actually, I had showed my aunt a picture of him, and I was like, this the guy that keep hitting me up or whatever. And she was like, well, baby, just give him a chance, So it was really her that kind of pushed me to try him out. And so I gave him a chance, and we had our first date at Olive Garden. He was so sweet. He opened the door for me, and while we was talking and everything, during the date, like, he really asked me questions to get to know me. And I mean, a lot of the questions he asked me, I didn't even know, because I wasn't used to nobody asking me these type of questions. And I remember one question he asked me was, what did I see myself doing? Like, what did I believe God called me to do? And I was like.
And when I sat down with her, she kind of explained to me, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I didn't see that, for I saw much more. So after that date, we stayed talking.
But he was like, I see you, impacting women and inspiring women and just encouraging them. And in my head, I'm like, if you knew the things that I've done and if you knew my background, you would not be saying that this is what you see in me. Because, I mean, I ain't really walked the dotted line, in the way that I should have to be giving somebody else advice. But he believed in me so, so much. And I think that was one thing that really drew me to him, because I'm like, nobody really believed in me the way that he did.
And that second date, we had just an awesome time. Every time, I sat with her, I'd say the first date and the second date, I got to know her. When she came to the table, she brought her, no matter how broken she may was, or things that she was going through in her private life that I could see through her. She was always her. She was real. So that's what I like, because sometimes, a lot of people, you'll, date the representative and marry the reality.
This story right here, if y'all bought my book, I'm Not the Girl I Used to Be, you know about this. This was the craziest part, that I knew maybe we might have a chance, After our second date, I went away to my car, and I get in my car, and he was like,
said, you're my wife. I said those exact words. I don't know what made me say that. I've dated in the past. It was very weird to come out of my mouth, but I told her, you're my wife.
I'm like, first of all, I barely even know you. How you talking about, do you know that I'm your wife? Like, I felt just, I don't know. It just felt so weird to me. But then after that, he was like,
whatever you're about to do tonight, don't do.
Mind you, before I left to go to this program from Harvard, I was thinking about going to see my ex. And so for him to really say that, I don't know, I just felt like, I don't know, God was sending a message through him to tell me, like, I really need to lead that way of life alone and possibly, explore something better and explore what he had brought to me.
And after that night, She ended up going up to Harvard, but while she was at Harvard, we talked every day. And it was an isolation experience for her. God really dealt with her in that moment. She was there to learn, but God really spoke to her, and dealt with her heart and everything. When she came back, we just hit it on, and we've been together ever since.
One thing I would say about our relationship is, as soon as me and Justin really started hitting it off, we knew that we wanted to get married. From the get-go, we knew that marriage was the end goal. And we said, why not get married young?
Yeah, I mean, especially because, at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to tap that thing and not be married. So, we wanted to get married young.
And I mean, I feel like people always shy away. Y'all know he asked you. People always shy away from the idea of getting married young because they feel like you need to have this and you need to have that. But listen, you can get married young, build from the ground up, and still be successful. So listen, we here for young marriage.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I do believe as a man of God that there's certain blessings that God released from heaven. When you do get married, I believe the Bible says when you findeth that wife, you obtain a favor. You don't obtain that favor just finding a girlfriend. You obtain that favor actually putting a ring on it and actually being married. So that's why I got married young.
So I will say, when it came to me and Justin, we always thought about having kids later. Down the line.
I like getting out. If I go somewhere, I like to get out the car and roll. I ain't got time for no kids.
So it was really shocking to us when we found out that one, we weren't just pregnant, but two, pregnant with two kids. So I'll never forget when I found out that we were pregnant. The ultrasound tech told me. I was so shocked, but it was more so his experience. When I took him that ultrasound, his face was like,
yeah, I was reading. I got the ultrasound and it said baby A and baby B, and then it had all these words on it, little different words. And I was baby A, baby B. I didn't know what they was talking about because there ain't but one baby I know here on this paper. And she was like, it's two. I said, oh my Lord. And at the time, I love kids. We had a child care center, but I didn't really want kids of my own yet. Yeah. I love my child care center, and I love keeping kids, and I love my God kids, but I could send them home back to their parents.
Listen.
Having your own is a whole nother story. So,
but I will say we wouldn't have it any other way, right?
No. But I'm so glad God has, we have created a family. We love Justin and Marcel. The world loves them. God is doing so much with them. But our goals as a family is just to really build generational wealth. And really do the things that God has called us to do. I know when I was single, I used to pray, God, put our whoever I marry, put our family on magazines, put our family on the forefront. And it's not because for us to get the glory or the fame, but for God to get the glory.
Yeah.
And God's already been answering, prayers like that. Kids were featured on Good Morning America.
Yes.
And we've been featured on different things. And it's not for our glory, but it's to show the world that God is still honoring and He's building families.
Yeah.
Our motto, our saying as a fan for the Jackson family is, what is it?
About like when it comes to our business, like
building generational wealth. Just building generational wealth and establishing legacy. So that's what we want to do. Stop building generational wealth, establishing God's way. Because that's what we want to do. We want to do it in God's way. We want to show people that, doing it God's way is nothing wrong with that.
No.
So, as we continue to do that, we're going to strive to do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something else, I forgot, but.
I was going to talk about how, just breaking generational curses.
Yeah, and I'll let you go into that. And, you can never do anything about the family you were born into, but you can do something about the one you create. I love my family to death, but there's a lot of things I don't, take into my family or take their ways, replicate. But so you can always change that and do and build the family God wants you to create.
Yeah, and so just to piggyback off what he was saying, we're just all about creating a family that loves God and a family that is whole and stuff. I felt like so much of our childhood, we had to we had to heal from some of the traumas that we faced when we grew up. And we just have been so focused on just creating a home where our kids genuinely grow up not having to heal from things that they experienced, but grow up knowing that they were loved, knowing that they can achieve anything they put their mind to, and just knowing that we're here for them regardless.
So after 18 some years, I guess 23 years though.
Yeah,
23 years.
Yeah.
23 some years. We had a church in Lynchburg, Virginia that we started. And we came to the conclusion that we could not stay there. I think the last sermon I preached in the pulpit, I would say one of the best sermons I preached in my life, was entitled "A Sermon I Can't Stay Here." And God really dealt with me for a long time about leaving our hometown, Lynchburg.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, that was where we were going at first.
I wanted to go to Richmond, Virginia for the longest time. And God really dealt with me about this thing with Atlanta, because I felt that Atlanta was in some way populated or had everything there
already,
that we could not go, go there. So I was driving doing newspaper one morning, and I was actually driving, and God took me this different route. And I don't know why I went this way, but I knew I could get to the Walmart where I was trying to go. And I took this left turn, this shortcut, and God told me to look up at the sign. The street was called Atlanta. Because I told God for the longest, I said, you're going to have to show me some sign for me to go to Atlanta. Even though, we had some, our good friend, Jacqueline Carr was here, and we was coming to assist them. I said, God, you still got to show me some kind of way. So, after those 18 years, and he kind of confirming that, we picked up and moved.
And I would say it's been the best decision ever. One thing I love about Atlanta is just, the culture. I love how big they are on entrepreneurship. That's something in Lynchburg you didn't see much of, So I think being here in Atlanta has given us more opportunities. We've been able to meet different people and just grow, not just our businesses or our influence, but, just spiritually and just as people. So I love being in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think
it's a little hot, but I love it.
I think too, like you said, the entrepreneurship has been amazing, and I think we established about 3 businesses already, getting them running. So it's being here has really even pulled a lot out of us and to learn about.
Challenged us. It's just a couple.
Yep.
I've been playing hide and go seek with a heart that longs to be in the arms of another.
What's going on, you guys? Listen, you got to hear how we met, our love story, our family goals, and why we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. But I'm here to tell you, we have a special announcement.
We're expecting twins again.